place you don't wanna be at. This ain't no home sweet home, it's a home sweet misery. We knew when we got here, they try to put us away. But when they see us walk down the street, they ran me up the way. Backstreet Atlanta, PA. Backstreet in the whole USA. Backstreet, nasty and high. The further down the block you went, the better it got. Jump in, that could be a brow. Holding McDuffie, she don't give the cops a call. She might as well call the Army or the United States Marines. Cause ain't nobody handle this backstreet scene. Backstreet Atlanta, PA. Backstreet in the whole USA. Backstreet, nasty and high. The further down the block you went, the better it got.
Welcome, everybody, to a new show, 10-year anniversary special of Outside Interference.
Outside Interference! Yeah!
Like I said, everybody, welcome to the show. This is the 10-year anniversary special of Outside Interference. I'm Brian, and right now I want to reintroduce you to our host of the show, the Dom himself and the madness, Lord Rob.
Woo! Well, thank you, Brian, for that rad introduction. Welcome back, everybody. This is our 10-year, he didn't forget to say it, but this is our reunion show, Jack. 10 years later, we're back. The Lord, the Madness Rob, you got the Dom Prime, the Dom himself, and we're here to bring you just some cool wrestling stuff. And, Rob, what about you? It's been 10 years. What do you got to say?
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
I don't know who this Brian person is. It's F as far as I'm talking. That's F.
I'll tell you who I am.
I am the master, and I am the ruler
of the world. So
I hope somewhere you have that Steiner math one. That is fun.
I'm sure I can find that.
It's good to be here with you guys.
Yep,
It's
back.
been a long time, Daddy. And 10 years ago, we were stumbling drunk.
it was more than stumbling drunk.
Whatever show with Burloo, Chairbraker Blue.
The very first show, you guys did your very first show, which was the 25 top wrestlers of the era. Not even just 2014 that it was, but your top 25. And then, Burloo shows up, the next episode recorded the same day, and it's a clinic, and watching you guys become plastered on live TV over the course of an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, that's the DUI that should have been. Oh, yeah. I can't believe I got home.
Hence, that's why we do call it the last episode, but we're back. It's been a while since we've come together, but we have some stuff we want to talk about. Where do we start? How do we get into this?
I don't know. As my wife would say, we never come together. So this is a big occasion.
This is a big deal. She does say that. I feel bad, man. Well, welcome back. There was a lot of stuff that's happened between last time we were here and now, but let's just kind of keep it current. We had Saturday night's main event that came up a little while ago. I know we want to talk about that. We just had a Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Would love to talk about that. And I've got some other cool stuff, but I got a bunch of notes here too. I know Brian has some stuff as well. And we got some other stuff we want to talk about at the end, some most influential wrestlers, if we get that far. But let's kick it off with some Saturday night's main event. Did you get a chance to see it?
No. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
That was easy. Brian, did you get a chance to see it?
I watched it, kind of. I mean, I actually was appreciative that they were bringing back kind of the old shows like Saturday Night Main Event. But as far as the matches went, I kind of just went, it's like, it's just like any other show. But I did like seeing Jesse Ventura come back. I did like seeing that, he's wearing the outfit and whatnot. But
How come we don't call you Brian the Body Ferguson?
Yeah, Brian, why is that?
I have no idea why you guys
Brian
don't
the
call
Body.
me
I like that. Sounds good. Well, he's right though.
But yeah, Jesse came back on, and I'm gonna just say it. Jesse, as far as a color commentator, whatever, even though he's 70 some years old, in my opinion, he's still better than all those other guys that were on the show.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's true.
He was more entertaining. He was just had better things to say. Maybe unbiased because I came up from that era, but I just think he was better. Those old guys were better. I still remember watching stuff back from like Superstars and whatnot, right? And back when we were kids, I got like tape recordings where I didn't have a VCR. I set my cassette player up next to my TV when I had to leave, and I hit record. And I'm listening back to it, and those guys, the commentators, are basically just talking like you're watching an actual sporting event.
Do you guys ever listen to that two-man power tripper wrestling? They do these little they'll pick someone from the Hogan era, and they'll go blurb like, on the 15th he beat so-and-so, on the 17th he lost to such and such, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll have a match, and it's like listening to the match on the radio because they'll have the Gorilla and Heenan or whoever.
Right.
And you're right, they call it like a sporting event, not a bunch of catchphrases or whatever, and it's gold.
It's just better.
Yeah.
You know, they were still at the time trying to keep the realism in on it.
Oh, he's working the arm. Oh, he's not going to be able to do that, you know.
Right. And then, of course, when Vince was doing his thing on the mic, everything was like, oh, what a maneuver! You know?
There he goes, but he's going down. But no. You both did it at the same time. That's crazy. The thing I liked about Saturday Night's Main Event is that they really tried to keep it old school. With down to the graphics, and even in the stadium or the arena that they were in, it really looked like, and it felt like it was from the 80s. So it did feel era, and that's the thing I like. The whole, like, the matches themselves, like how they did the introductions. Cody Rhodes coming out with the winged eagle belt, that was rad. Like, we kind of knew he wanted to do it when he first came back from AEW, and he's like, I would like to bring the winged eagle belt back. And that whole time he's champion after he won it at the last WrestleMania, I kept on thinking to myself, is he going to bring it back the day after WrestleMania?
Is he going to turn heel? He is the most boring fucking champion. He needs to be a heel.
You know,
why the hell did they even make him champion? I mean, I don't get it. Why does the modern wrestling audience even care about these guys right now? Most of them are all just...
That's all they have.
Well, it doesn't matter. If it's all they have, you get better talent.
What, are you saying that Cody Rose isn't good?
I'm saying he's a one-trick pony, just like Roman Reigns was.
We're saying we're cranky old bastards and we like wrestling the way it was, not the way it is.
Hear, hear. No, I get what you're saying, but, you know, if this is what we have, it's not like we can make the changes. All we can do is bitch about it. We're only
I'm
three
bitching.
people.
I know you Grandpa are. Simpson.
Welcome to Bitching with Brian.
Brian, shake your fist harder, boy.
Right, yeah.
You're supposed to yell at the sky, Brian.
Shake your fist harder at the sky. Anyway, I don't mind Cody Rhodes. I get what you're saying, but we're just limited on the guys that we have and the different organizations.
Hey, what about that show we went to? You should talk about that.
What, the Monday night
show?
Yeah, we went to Raw. I don't know, was that a month ago?
Yep, talk about it. You went too.
It was pretty cool, Jack. First of all, they need to get their merch in order. That is ridiculous.
It was weak.
They got shit. They don't have anything from more than 2 years ago. They'd be selling Hogan and Savage stuff.
I think they had like 10 different things. There wasn't very much stuff there.
They were out of CM Punk. They had a cool blue CM Punk shirt.
Yeah, they
went
did.
Up there, and she's like, "You can have a large or a medium." And I was like, "That's not what I asked you for."
Everybody here is extra large and more bigger,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, that's only under the new standards they have when making clothing. You know, they're basing it off of a prepubescent little North Korean or something that they're...
But you all remember the viral video, Fat Guy Breaks Chair. It would have been Fat Guy Rips Shirt if I'd have bought a
Fat guy, little shirt.
Yeah.
Fat guy in a little shirt.
All right, Chris Farley.
But
Yep.
we saw Gunther.
Yep.
We saw, who'd he squash? Was it
Man, it's been-
Mysterio's kid or... who?
No, I can't remember. It's been a
I think
while.
it was I think it was the so-called Dirty Dom Mysterio.
How did I know we were going to talk about that? I would have put that in my notes because we're going to talk about a different route.
We don't care about your notes.
I'm drilling.
I
all
care
over
about my notes.
Well, I don't know.
Ow, ow. So I did get to see. Woo! Woo! I did get to see a friend of mine at the event. My buddy Jason Baker, who does work for the WWE, he's actually employed now.
Really?
Yep. He actually had his badge.
Employed by WWE.
Yep.
Is he still working with Tom Savini?
Yep. He has
So
still
he
has
works
his own,
with both.
Yeah, he's doing both. He said the movie business right now is really slow because after that writer's strike, it really kind of messed up his momentum what he was doing. So it's really just piecework right now. And I know that the last project he did work on was Terrifier 3 that I know that
Really?
he worked on. Yeah. Yep.
Did Terrifier 3 actually get good reviews?
It got good reviews because it's an indie horror flick.
Well, I
And-
know, but I've seen the first two on, like Tubi.
Yeah.
And I've watched it's kind of like a shorts prequel where a lot of the first Terrifier came from, things like that. And it's like, shit, I could do the same thing with my goddamn cell phone, I
Yep.
mean, yeah, the guy playing Art the Clown, he plays the character pretty good, but like production wise, it looks like it's just somebody with a cell phone out there recording everything and a really bright light.
What'd you
That's
think
probably what it is.
What did you think of Long Legs? Did you see that one, Brian?
I did.
like that one.
I haven't seen that yet.
I thought the end of the movie was kind of lame. I thought the movie was pretty good because I was waiting
I
forever.
didn't love it. I liked it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, but I liked
Good
it.
that Norman Bates' kid directed it. That's cool.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Osgood Perkins.
I did see
okay.
that. Yes, okay. I didn't even put that together, but I did see it. I wasn't a big fan. I liked it enough. I just feel like that movie, along with like Killing of the Sacred Deer and Hereditary, they kind of have just a different kind of horror flick.
Yeah.
What is that? What kind of horror flick is that?
Hereditary sucked.
I know, but
like Hereditary.
I didn't like it either. But there's a name for that style of horror, and I just can't think of it. But
Creepy?
it's like
I don't know.
I didn't find it creepy.
I didn't. It just.
I mean, it
feels
was
like
like, what was it? I can't remember a whole bunch now, but was it the kid or the mom that had like the telekinetic powers or whatever the fuck it was?
Which one?
Hereditary.
That was the mom.
That was the mom.
Yeah.
Remember when we were in the theater and Darlene goes, the girl, they're driving down the road and she's got her head out the window and she hits the spoiler telephone pole. And Darlene goes, she just got hit with the ugly stick.
I hate to break this to her, but she was ugly before. But that part.
That girl now is there's a new series that got put on what was it, Peacock, with Bruce Campbell. It's kind of another twisted kind of what happens here and there, kind of a suspense horror thriller.
Yeah.
And lightweight, more like the Evil Dead series, not the movies, but the series.
show.
Yeah, and Bruce Campbell's just a supporting actor in it. He's not the main character. But that one girl you're talking about from Hereditary, I think, she's actually another supporting character in there, and she looks a little bit different. Now she's a lot heavier, but she looks a little bit different.
Well, the It Follows girl was in Long Legs.
Which one was that?
The chick from It Follows was
Man,
the
it's been
main
forever.
chick in Clarice Jr. in Long Legs.
Gotcha.
But anyway,
yeah.
let's get back to what you guys were talking about on Raw.
Was it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was
we went
a good
to Raw.
show. I don't really remember much about what happened, but it was CM Punk and Seth Rollins did some jawing. Did they wrestle?
Nope.
Yeah. I think they shoved each other or
Yeah, they
something.
came
It was
out
a
and
good
argued.
show though. I mean, there's lots of good there's some good matches.
It was fun.
Gunther beat up the wannabe Dom. I don't remember anything else.
I don't either.
So the only thing you need to remember about that is we always go to the Buzz Inn. Yeah.
We did go to the Buzz Inn.
Huh?
Was that before?
Got to have yourself a good steak after a night out
No, I
watching
said
pro
the Buzz
wrestling.
Inn.
Don't they make
You got-
new steaks?
No, you have steak. You don't have a good steak.
Oh, you just
have
have a steak,
You
not
have
a good
steak.
steak.
Yeah.
Well, then why would you want to go there? You want to go someplace that's
Buzz
got a
Inn,
It's the
good
Daddy.
Buzz Inn. It's like right down the road from the Everett Events. Oh, sorry, Angel of the Winds.
Ooh,
Ooh.
big deal.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about Raw on Netflix, did you watch it?
I watched Ria Ripley beat
Liv?
All the Way Live Morgan. And I like Rhea Ripley, but, and I know I'm the 10,000th person to say this. Can we have a 2 count without the reaction when someone kicks
Right.
out every goddamn time?
Well,
Even Rhea did it. It's ridiculous.
But
Yeah,
that's what-
it's not just her. It's everybody's
It's all of them.
doing
It
that now.
sucks.
And it's almost every 2 count, but I like, sometimes it builds on that excitement when
No.
you think, for me, I like it. I'm okay with it. And here's why, and let me finish, is because, sorry if I bumped the mic, but I like Rhea. Whoever I like, when I see them wrestle and I think they're going to get that pin, I'm invested as much as they are because I'm watching, right? And if they kick out at 2, the person kicks out at 2, and your person doesn't win, you're like, fuck, for me.
No.
So then I feel I'm empathetic to my superstar.
It's
or
almost,
wrestler.
it's getting predictable.
I know.
No, you gotta save the I'm shocked and I can't believe
No,
it
wait.
to when Ultimate Warrior kicks out of 5 elbows or something that's like really not every fucking match on the card. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Oh,
It's like almost it's almost standard like having a power bomb in a match now. You have to do it. But if we're going to watch, we got to let go for that 2 hours, 3 hours.
Have a power bomb? You got to do a power bomb?
I'm just saying, like, remember how power bomb was a finisher?
got to do a power bomb.
Well, nowadays you see a power bomb
I miss
every
body
match,
slams.
you see 2 or 3 a match now.
when was
They're
the
so
last time you saw a
common.
body slam?
Like
I
a
love
legit body slam?
slams. Yeah, like
Who
Hogan body
actually
slam?
did the best body slam? Well, no, I should take that back. Who? Not body slam, power slam.
Animal.
Yeah, I agree. Animal was the best power slam.
Oh yeah, Animal, British Bulldog. Those are the only 2 that I can think of right off the top of my head. But yes,
Because right
Animal.
now, you know, Braun Strowman, his big thing for a while has been a running power slam. Orton did a kind of a spinning power slam too, but it just didn't seem the same as like Animal had the best power slam.
It was incredible.
because there was no animation, they just fucking did it. And if it was more like they were selling their power more than they're selling their agility, I guess.
Maybe,
What
I
about
don't know.
clotheslines? Nikita Koloff.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
Right?
the JBL clothesline.
Clothesline from
From
hell.
hell.
Animal again with the had great clotheslines.
As much as I
Yeah,
don't
but
like
Hawk,
this.
Hawk did the Doomsday device, the clothesline off the ropes.
Yep, and then just as an honorable mention, even though I don't like the superstar or wrestler. Why am I using superstar? Wrestler.
Yeah, pro wrestler, man. Get
I know,
your ass
I know.
together.
Hey,
Outside interference!
is that Rick?
That's Rick.
That's
I had
rad.
to do something for Rick.
I'm so
I
glad
haven't seen
I-
Rick in a long time.
I know.
so I don't know what's going on with Rick.
You know, he was sick for a really long
That's
time.
what I heard.
Yeah, we need to get a hold of Rick. Anyway, where was I?
Well, I don't know where you were, but
talking
this
about
whole
clotheslines.
conversation.
Clotheslines. Oh,
Honorable
Ultimate
mention.
Warrior. I just have to throw that out there.
Oh, fuck Warrior.
I'm not saying to go for it. Fuck
Yeah.
Warrior, sure, but he did a clothesline. I'm just throwing that
No,
out
his
there.
cool thing was dropping people and the.
He'd do the
just kinda
gorilla
drop
press
them.
and then drop them behind his
But
head.
yeah, I don't remember his clotheslines being.
I
Anything.
hate
No,
to
he
watch
was
him.
just kind of run around the rope, boom, and then he run the other side.
He had a
boom.
great entrance. I will give him that. It was an iconic entrance.
That's probably the only
Stupid,
thing he
but-
had going for him.
I know. Speaking of that gorilla press, I hated watching him do the gorilla press because he always held everybody by their throat. Like he
Throat
just,
in their balls.
Yeah.
yeah, not by their chest like this. He would always hold them by their throat. I'm like,
The neck and the sack.
dude, let me. Yeah, the 2 places you probably don't want to be grabbed, right? But
Well,
ultimately,
I don't know. Rob might.
Rob,
Oh, thanks, Warrior.
you have a squeaky,
But no, Rob brought up
broken
this
up
thing
voice.
about Rhea Ripley. Now, I want to say I've tried to like Rhea Ripley. I think she can make a really good heel. She could probably make a face.
She needs to be a monster
She
heel.
does.
Yeah, she does.
She does her promos pretty well. She actually can build a promo pretty well. She comes off kind of legit, and her outfit, like what she uses with wearing the rings, it's straight out of Road Warriors or something like that. She looks like she would fit right in there with like Lord Humongous or Iron Bar from Bartertown or something like that. You know what I mean? But her matches get kind of boring. The best match, in my opinion, that I think she's had is with Charlotte Flair,
Yep, I
which
was just
makes me
gonna say
think
that.
like Charlotte was the one who was leading that entire match, saying, this is what we're going to do. Do this. Now let's do this in the ring. Because everything she's had since then, unless it's a squash match, just kind of fizzles out. It
And
gets
she should have squashed Live Live.
Oh, I
too.
know. But during Raw, Dominic and Raquel Rodriguez were both out there. We got to see what happened at the very end of the match with Dominic when he came in. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and she was like getting ready to. It looked like she was going to forgive him, and then she just kicks him in
kicks
the
him in
nuts,
the balls.
like
And
really hard
nobody
too.
was surprised.
No,
at all.
no.
But,
Yeah, we all saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah, but we had to see it. They had to show us because the fans that are not like us, because we know it's going to come, so we don't need to see it. But the fans, the newer fans, they want to
the
see
newer
it.
fans, you
They
mean
wanna
all
see
you
it.
people out there, you got no idea what it really is out there.
Cream will rise to the top.
Oh, yeah!
Dig it.
newer fans aren't watching our shit.
No, probably
And
not.
actually, neither are older fans. But,
I don't know. There's at least 2.
No, we have more.
we were almost up to 1,000 views for Fat Guy Breaks Chair before the FCC pulled the video due to controversial content that caused a divide, if you will.
And it was going to be Rob to bring that up if anybody was going to bring it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
The cracks in the mega powers were forming when a chair was broken. But then
I thought it was.
We got the super glue out and we got it repaired. Yeah, dig it. Freak out. Sorry.
You know, the whole move to Netflix. You know, it's like, is that really going to be a good thing?
Yeah.
Maybe not. I mean, I know financially it's going to be a great thing.
You're not going to have a larger reach than Netflix.
They got paid $5 billion for a 10-year contract to be on Netflix.
Was it 10 years?
10 years.
Holy
That's
shit.
$500 million a year. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
And that's just for the rights to air the show
It's like
on
$15 million
Netflix.
a day.
What's funny is they sold for how much?
Sold
9?
it?
When WWE sold
Oh, out to
TKO, Endeavor,
whatever the
which
fuck it
became
is.
And
TKO.
that was with a Vince poop discount.
Oh my! We have a lot to talk about, or we could have
By
a
the
lot
way,
to talk about.
Nobody's talking about Vince anymore. It's like the whole thing just disappeared.
They want him to disappear. They want that to
Well, it
all
doesn't
go
matter
away.
about I'm not talking strictly about WWE. I'm talking about the media out there
It's bizarre.
isn't covering anything about.
And there was
that
a
anymore.
Netflix documentary about Vince, which I haven't watched. Did you watch it?
Oh man, it's good. Did you watch it?
I haven't watched it yet, but I did see that Vince came on social media, either like typing something out or actually doing a video saying like, don't pay attention to it because the video they created was worked to actually present like a really bad image. They didn't put in all the other footage in there.
Hold
that
on a
showed
sec.
All sides.
On Netflix's defense, that's not true because I watched it all. I got to find out some stuff that I've only heard about, like the ring or the referee, the female referee, the ring boy. I got to hear about that. I've only heard stories about it, and then I got to hear more in detail on there.
The ring boy.
Got to watch it. And at the very end, with the last 2 episodes, you think they're going to shit all over Vince, and they really. I didn't. And I'm a WWE fan, right? So of course I'm going to try to have Vince's back as much as I can because I fucking watched him for so many years. But at the very end of it, I didn't feel like they really shit on him. I didn't feel like that at all. I felt like they were kind of leaving it up to your interpretation. So it was neither here nor there. It was just open. That's how I felt. So watch it. Let's talk about it the next time we get together.
But yeah, the move to Netflix, man, seeing Triple H just come on there and he's like, we're in the new Netflix area. And I'm thinking, that is the lamest shit I've ever heard. I mean, come on. Attitude Era, okay, fine. PG Era, whatever. But like Netflix area, whatever. What?
Era.
Yeah, era. It's like, what?
But I'm sure
come on,
Netflix paid him $5 billion.
I know Netflix
They're
paid them
gonna-
$5 billion, so they're also obligated to pump it up like
They
that.
should call it the Net Flippity Flicks.
Maybe, but
The flip-flop
yeah. On the
flicks.
other hand,
The net flip-flop.
they get all the what do you call it? It's not promotion, but everybody around the world is able to see it now, all at the same time.
Like a
Now
simulcast?
here's the thing though. Us in America, as far as pay-per-views go, we still got to watch them on Peacock. They're not
Yep.
going to be on Raw or on Netflix.
That's funny. I put that in my notes was to talk about how there's different formats to watch or platforms to watch us through in America.
Peacock sucks, by the way.
And they're keeping
Figure out your fucking shit. It takes me 5 tries every time I want to watch a match with their stupid wonky system for.
We're sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking assholes.
You good?
And I think they're still keeping SmackDown on regular national
USA.
television.
So SmackDown's going to be on USA, going to 3 hours. Netflix has Raw. CW will have NXT.
AW's on Max, too.
Yeah, I just saw that the other day.
Oh, no, he's going to watch that. That's why it's on Max.
What, you don't watch Max?
I mean, I watch Max. I'm not going to watch AEW, though.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm picky. I am partial. I've given AEW a chance.
I don't know. I've never watched AEW. I just see the clips, and I'm not really interested in people the size of, whatever Starboy was down the street,
Yeah.
They're all that. Starboy.
I can't remember his name. Logan?
But I'm glad there's another company. Whenever WWE doesn't have any competition, they just go right in the crapper.
But WWE never even thought about AEW as being competition.
They do.
Just like,
They do. They may not say that, but they do, and that's why they have a better product. I agree.
Because Nash on his show and some of the other old guys are like, they're talking about like with WCW, when WCW was trying to compete with WWE. Something I can't remember the whole story, but Nash goes, "No, you guys, Ted Turner or somebody's coming up. Yeah, we're gonna be head to head with Vince McMahon or whatever, right?" And Nash turns around and watches a show, and he's talking about how the WWE has basically Hollywood level production on their shit. And he's like, "No, you guys aren't even going to be close."
But they almost did it, man.
Well, they almost did it, I think, was more just because people were going, "Ooh, let's see what happens."
Well, and they were on WWE's radar. Remember the Nacho Man skits and the Huckster?
Well, yeah, but that's because they're all trying
Billionaire
to,
Ted.
they're poking at each other now. They're making fun of each other.
But you don't do that if you just don't care about the
if you're worried about the
nobody's
competition.
doing that about AEW right now.
No, but I mean, I'm glad they're on. I mean, I haven't watched them, but, you know.
But since we're talking about it, and since we're saying it, let's talk about the CM Punk match against Rollins.
CM Punk is a CM Putz.
I like CM Punk.
I
like Punk too.
I don't know why you guys like him. I mean, the little fucktard lost.
It should be studied.
You know,
I'm just saying.
He lost all of his credibility when he went out there in MMA, and within just a few seconds, got his ass handed to him by a guy that looks like Alex Wright, the Wonder Kid, Das Wonder Kid, or whatever his name.
Das Wonder Kid's coming back, Jack. He's gonna.
No.
I mean, come on.
And I feel like Mark Miro's due to have a return, too. Let's get Johnny B. Bad back. Let's bring him back, Daddy.
Whoa, slow down.
So, yeah, they're making a big deal about CM Punk. Because he's back, and everybody loves him because he's the second city sage or whatever the fucktard
He's a good fake wrestler.
Yeah,
he's not a good fighter.
And he knows how to piss you. He pisses you off.
Man. I watch him, and I just don't see legitimacy. He should not have beat Drew McIntyre.
No.
McIntyre should have cleaned the house with him because McIntyre got booked to beat Lesnar with just, easy.
Which is ridiculous.
So, by far, that match, their Hell in the Cell match, was one of my favorite matches.
I heard that was a good match. I have not seen it.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
Well, it was very bloody.
Hella bloody.
Drew cut himself open real bad.
Hella in a cella?
Hella in a cella, fella.
Hella in a cella, fella. Shit. It was good though, but I wanted to mention something about CM Punk and AEW. I don't know if y'all noticed, but when he came out with his XX coat on, and he turned around to the camera, that was a shot at AEW because that was the jacket that he was wearing when he got in a fight with Jungle Boy / Tony Khan.
Yeah, well,
so,
okay. So
I'm just saying, throwing a little factoid out there.
AEW character, AEW wrestlers, Jungle Boy.
That's not exactly.
One called Luchasaurus, a tall dude wearing a lizard mask.
Breaking Dusty's ankle as far as getting heat. I'm wearing a jacket to spite you guys. Okay.
Yeah, what a bunch of fucking morons.
He just took a shot. He's the only one that's taking shots at AEW though, and he does all the time.
No, I like Punk though. Is he as high as we had him ranked 10 years ago in the all-time list? No.
No, definitely not. But
we have him like 14 or something.
I'd have to see the video again. I gave you guys all that stuff. You should be able to watch it whenever you want.
We do. We have it. He has a copy. I have a copy.
Yeah, it's all digitized. You don't even have to put a disc in.
Yeah, no discs. Dummy.
Dummy.
I don't even have to put it in. It feels like my wife is here. What is going on right now?
I didn't mean to insult you. Great match, though. I liked it.
What, the CM Punk and
Seth Rollins? It was good.
Rollins is another one I don't get why people are behind. He's another $120 nothing.
My thing with Rollins is he's flashy and stuff, but and kind of snarky heel, which is good. That's good. But I don't really understand. He just does random shit week after week. There's no character thread throughout. He's different when whatever way the wind's blowing, he's doing
Rollins?
Rollins. He's just sort of like being outlandish to be outlandish. He doesn't have. It seems like he's all style and he can wrestle. I'm not saying
he can wrestle,
but the character doesn't have any substance as far as I can
tell. Nope. I don't get the whoa when people sing whoa whatever his song is, how he comes out, his style. I was a fan of Rollins when he was in the Shield.
Shield was great.
But once he left, it didn't work for me. When he became champion, I never thought of him being a champion. The only thing I want to go back to Punk real quick for you was I think the reason I like him because at the time he was super fresh. He was different, right? And he was interesting. I have a bunch of notes here, but he comes off.
Use your notes, Daddy.
I am, Jack. But he comes off like a scrappy little street fighter when you first see him, right? I never understood it when he came over to SmackDown and Raw. That's when I caught on to him when he was in what was it?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
ECW.
Hardcore Championship?
No, the ECW.
ECW.
When he was in ECW, I only saw him once, and it was like a week later. He was over in SmackDown, or he was in Raw. But I never understood the build part. That never got me. The straight edge stuff never got me. It was all the other stuff. I think the reason he's popular now is because of everything that he did in the past, and that time he did spend in AEW. He's enough to build his popularity, and then he was just gone. So people are like,
he was gone for like 10 years or something, wasn't he?
Gone from the WWE for almost 10 years. But when he came over from AEW to WWE, nobody expected it.
I did. I
did.
I didn't. I did
figured
not.
He's
I
got to
didn't
go do something.
I know, but I never thought they would bring him back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never thought they would bring him back because of all the other shit. So when that last year, not the, what was it, 23 Survivor Series, when he came back and that show was about to close out, dude, I was just sitting there. I just happened to keep the TV on. Every time they put the trademark on, I'm done. I'll turn it off. I just happened to leave it on, getting ready to go turn it off, and I heard Cult of Personality come on. I fucking lost it. So then that instantly.
I can just see Dom in his house now.
Oh, it was worse than that, bro. It was big. I was just like, what the fuck?
But here's the problem I have with current wrestling is these guys, they take breaks, they disappear for 6 months at a time, a year. So everybody's around for 20 years, but
they don't put
they fall through the cracks. Like Orton shows up twice a year and wrestles, and you got these assholes like the Miz who will roll in for fast lane checkout, some dipshit pay-per-view, and then they'll disappear again. And the only ones that are consistent are all the assholes I don't like Reigns and everybody else on whatever island he's from.
Even Reigns took a bunch of time off.
No, but I mean,
Cancer Boy.
But even after WrestleMania,
come on, Luke,
he took a lot of time off.
Comeback. But we need, it's so these wrestlers, it's like they come and go, they start and stop, and there's no momentum.
Right.
And every time they come back, they always get a big pop, big, huge return.
Not like everybody loves seeing him. It's like, hey, he's back. My favorite buddy's back.
How many times has he been back in the last 6 months? He's been back like 3 times, and every time he gets that same ovation.
He comes back, and he's there one time, and then he's gone again because, they're trying to build up the whole story for the big feud between the two bloodline factions or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Reigns has not been very interesting to me, even as the tribal chief, because in his matches, he's still very basic. There's not a lot going on. He doesn't do diddly, jack shit. Right now, it's like, okay, they build him up and they gave him this Ulafala back, and it's just like, where are the people really getting whatever it is they need to actually get behind this guy? Why do they like him? Is it really the fact, like some of the other old school wrestling writers, producers and stuff that are behind the scenes, like Cornette or whatever is saying that WWE just trains the fans to react to how they want them to react, and that's what everybody's doing.
That's probably true.
How are they training their fans? Because they keep showing the same person? They push that person?
They train them. They train them because they might. It's not just pushing or showing the person, but it's getting the fans used to reacting the same way. Everybody reacts the same. Everybody goes out there and does OTC.
What were they saying at the show we went to? What was that, yeet or whatever?
That's it, yeet.
That is the stupidest
everybody's
shit
out
ever.
there going yeet.
What's what you put in when you're making
yeet?
Oh, okay.
And it helps it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rob.
Rub some cream on it. Yeah, but we need. I like Gunther.
I like Gunther.
He needs to destroy Reigns.
Gunther is another one. I wanted to like him. I think I remember you didn't like him to start with.
No.
And I want to like the guy because he comes in there and he comes in like a legit kind of old school wrestler, kind of, right? But he just kind of seems so awkward moving around the ring and doing things sometimes.
And they really fucked him by having Sami Zayn beat him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they ruined his momentum. That's like, remember what they did with not Miro, but Rusev.
Oh, yeah, Rusev.
And Cesaro. They kept this momentum. They're going up, and then all of a sudden they just let him get beat by fucking Jey Uso, or who was it? Sami Zayn.
Yeah,
And
who
they
the
just-
hell is Sami Zayn anyway? I mean,
Dude, I'm so
he's
fucking
been
over
there
him.
for a long time, but
He's-
what the hell is him?
He's been there for way too long. That's what it is.
What-
Out of all the people they fired throughout the years, that fucking dipshit's still there? Come on.
He's another one
Right?
that's like, how
It'd be
can
like
this guy
Savage
really
losing
do
the Red
anything?
Rooster. Just one, he's on the way up. He's been champ, and then he loses the Red Rooster one week, and
A title.
yeah, I'd be like, what? What are you talking about?
I
But
don't
yeah,
get it.
Sami Zayn is another one of those guys that look at as like, how could this guy really compete and do anything against all these other guys? I mean, he's another guy who's got no real muscle tone to him. He doesn't look like an athlete.
He looks like he's out of shape
I
personally.
blame Rey Mysterio.
He looks like he's just as bad off as I am as being out of shape. You know what I mean? But they have him beat Gunther. They have him. Did he beat Drew McIntyre at one point? Or
I
no,
think so.
Drew always beat him.
No. Drew beat him.
But he's beaten people that he shouldn't be able to beat.
I know.
And it's because they keep writing him and pushing him as, it's the underdog or whatever. He's finally made it. He finally got his victory over whatever, right? The best thing about him has just been his comedic things going in with the bloodline and actually making them all break character live on TV.
Yeah. Real quick, Gunther did get his rematch with Sami Zayn and beat him, and it was for the title. It was on a Monday night. So
Another Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
It's probably another one I got bored of and had to just leave it on in the background while I went over somewhere else and did
It'd be
things
like
I need
Hogan
to
losing
do.
to Tatanka or something. I'd be like,
he's
what?
still pissed off about it.
I am pissed off about it because you don't forget that shit. I still remember
It
Austin.
scarred you for life.
It's like Kevin Nash getting
I
beat by
still
Rey
remember
Mysterio.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
I still remember stunning Steve Austin getting squashed for the U.S. title by Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
I
That was a
remember
head
that.
scratcher.
Yep. Well, sometimes you got to have a head scratcher, so maybe they can come back and
No,
Get
it
some
stays.
good
It
revenge?
sticks with them. It's like it leaves a
you know
mark
what?
on them.
I think it sticks with you and some of us other there's a lot of other fans. Let's just say it this way. They don't care. It's like where are they at right now? They don't care about whatever happened to them in the past.
My big takeaway is I don't really give a shit about current wrestling. It's better than it was during the dark ages of 2005 to 15. That was brutal.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to feel like it's turning into the same kind of thing because I keep seeing the same few guys over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
You want to
And
know
it's
why?
Well, they fired everybody else when they went that TKO merger.
They only fired like 10 people. It was only a handful of
It feels
people.
like it was a hell of a lot more people.
It feels like it because I think we were expecting a lot more to happen.
well, there's
but it
probably
never
also
happened.
a lot of people behind the scenes that they got rid of.
I just need to be able to access the old shit that I used to like to watch without it being such a wonky.
Can you still
process.
do that on Peacock, or is that
Yeah.
going to be moving?
Yeah,
to
but it
Raw
takes you
or
6
Netflix?
tries because they have the most user unfriendly way of scroll. It should be like
Did you-
scroll over, down, boom, you're there.
Yeah, it's not like, but you can talk into your remote and it'll take you right there.
I talk to the remote.
Fuck
Well, then
that.
don't talk to the
Talk to
remote.
the
Don't
fridge.
talk to the remote then.
I talk to the cat
do it the
dish.
old way then. I can just go
always-
Survivor Series 1989 and guess what? It takes me right there.
Hey, did you hear?
So it's your
that,
guys' problem if you don't want to use
I
it.
don't know if it's true, but I did hear that I think Apple is being sued over misuse of the data that their Siri is recording while
What a
you're.
shocker.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that we all knew was happening anyway.
Yeah, but you can turn it off in your phone.
Yeah, apparently they can still turn it back on.
Oh, I want to add something real quick about today's wrestling and why I think we get bored of it.
Dude, you can add anything you want. This is your show.
It's
This is
our
outside
show.
interference.
This is our show. So,
Outside interference.
yeah, why we didn't get one of those. Give us an outside interference.
It's
One of-
outside interference.
Oh, my God. Anyway.
How did I do it 10
I
years
didn't
ago?
get a harumph out of that guy.
Harumph.
Yeah, thank you. Oh no, that was something different. Anyway, 2 hour, 3 hour Raw SmackDowns. I think
Yeah,
that's.
they're turning to that again too.
I know it's too much.
I
3
think
hours.
I think it's a bit much.
It's 3 hours is too much. Once Raw came back down to 2 hours from October to just last week, dude, it was so much better. I feel like I invest a lot of time when I'm watching wrestling because I watch both SmackDown, I watch Raw, and occasionally I'll catch NXT. That's a lot of wrestling.
Well, that's how I felt when I was a
job.
teenager, because they had a whole bunch of different programs on all the time. It's like I'm spending 4 days out of the 7 days here just watching wrestling all day long. I'm not doing anything else.
I know.
There was Superstars. There was WCW. You also had AWA being on. It's probably reruns or whatever, but you had all this crap going on, and I'm just sitting there watching all because, hey, I want to watch wrestling. Hey, this is cool. This is cool. After several years of that, it's like, the fuck did I do in my life? I just sat there on my bed watching wrestling.
Memories, Daddy.
I have lots of those from his house. We would, man.
No, but when you have to stretch it out, milk everything, make every promo 10 minutes
because
blah,
it's
blah,
3
blah,
hours.
You're trying to fill 3 hours. The show's not as crisp.
Okay, there's another thing with like this Raw episode. They only had a few matches, and it was 3 hours long because it was like it started out where they're bringing out a legend, to do their thing. Yeah, it's Netflix, and here's my promo for my shit too.
Yeah,
let's talk about the legends they brought out.
And not yet, man. Okay. We'll get there. But they do that crap, and then they have a curtain jerker with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. That should have been more of a main event kind of match based on the kind of people they had there. But they did that. Then they had the Rhea Ripley Liv Morgan match after, who was the next guy that came out? Was it Hogan? It was first The Rock, and then maybe it was Cena.
It was Rock, then the match, and then Cena came out, and then it was the Rhea Ripley match.
And then Hogan? No,
and then
Undertaker came out after Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
But all the Undertaker did was just ride around his motorcycle, come back, stop next to her, high five, and
What the hell is he going to do? He's 87 years old.
Well, he could have told her hop on the back.
He could have something
Broad.
like that, or he could have been just done something more like Hogan or The Rock did and actually do a promo of some kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he didn't. It was just like, yep, here I am on my bike.
He should have sniffed her hair like Biden. That would have
Dyke
been
on a
funny.
bike.
Look, the Undertaker's out here, and he just got really weird. Is he sniffing her hair? He is sniffing her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is weird. Better turn it. No, you can't turn it. It's Netflix.
But anyway, they're saying, now that they're on Netflix, there is no time restriction. They can go as long as they need to go to get their segments done and show the entire show.
Yep. And Triple H said, if our story consists of us ending early, we'll end early. If it consists of us going over, we got to go over. It's about the story. But here's the thing. 3 hours, now you have all these stories you have to tell in 3 hours. Well, let's say
it could potentially be 4 or 5.
Well, it could potentially, but my thing is,
there's no limitation on them.
No, but if they limit it, you're not going to be so saturated in that much time, because let's say you have 5 stories to tell in 3 hours. Well, you cut an hour out, you're only going to get probably 3 hours. Let's say 3 stories, and I'm just talking hypothetically. Now you have 2 stories that can go on to next week with a follow-up from a story from the week before. So there's a way to overlap and kind of keep it going. So nope. Every week we get every story, a resolve for every story, or a part of every story. If they shorten it, those stories would be able to be stretched out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think they should shorten it for sure.
It should be shortened because then our stories are going to last longer. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't think they've had an issue with making them last long in the first place. I mean, look how many years they've stretched out the bloodline confrontation, the conflict between the two kinds.
Yeah, but most of the time, I think they're doing a better job lately of doing stories. And I don't give a shit about the bloodline story. I know everybody's raving about it, but there was a 10, 15 years where there was no stories. It was like random thrown together pay-per-views every month. This guy's fighting this guy for no reason. So I like that there are some little feuds. You stole my friendship bracelet feud. It's a dumb reason to have a feud, but I mean, at least it's a feud, right?
Yeah.
Right. But they weren't doing shit for a long time. So I like that they're having feuds, but yeah, they got to keep that shit, the story going.
What you didn't like how the part of the story with Drew and CM Punk where he was making
Drew
fun
is
of
the most
Larry
fucking guy ever.
Who?
Drew McIntyre.
I thought you liked him.
Shit at all. He looks kind of cool, but he does nothing for me. Nothing.
Okay,
he's got a good look, but right now, the last year or two, the way they've been handling the character, he's just out there whining about how he got screwed over by this person, screwed over by that person. And it's just like, yeah. Who cares? Do something better. He might have been better off while he was being booked as the Scottish psychopath or whatever.
I like him better now than I did in the past.
What's Paul Jones doing? Let's get the army back together.
Jeez, yeah, Paul Jones. That's a name we haven't heard in a minute. Give us a Paul Jones line.
Well, I don't know any of his lines, but...
That's a line of his?
Remember those great kind of mid-tier managers they had? Gary Hart, who was awesome. Paul Jones.
Slick.
Slick.
I remember
Slick would be
Slick
one.
Rick, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's Slick.
Turn
Rick.
out the
Slick.
lights, the party's over. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Woo! We need to get a little warm up for that one because I want to be able to ad lib it. What else we got? You had some stuff for us.
Well, we already brought up Punk. We already the Putts. We already brought up Seth Rollins. We already discussed Rhea Ripley. You know, I don't understand why the fans get behind these people when they are just generic.
They don't know any better.
They don't know any better.
Slugs.
That's all they have.
But you know, they're WWE is also still wasting opportunities with other tag teams or whatnot. What the hell did they bother to bring back Paul Ellering with who is it? AOP? And yet the AOP is being utilized as if they're just basically jobbers.
They just fucked up.
Oh, you mean with
Tag team
Karrion
wrestling.
Kross and how they're doing Final Judgment? That
Well, maybe, but yeah, it's like AOP bringing back Ellering. It's like it's almost like they're trying to have some kind of a
nostalgia.
Well, maybe a nostalgic take, but like a nod to say like Legion of Doom.
But
Yeah,
here's my thing
Because
about
they even named AOP's finisher something similar to what Legion of Doom's finisher was, but it's a lame little thing. They both pick them up like they're going to do a power bomb. They're supposed to smack the two opponents together, but it's like a little nudge.
Well,
And then-
it's like WWE. They don't even know their own history because it's like they don't know the purpose of tag team wrestling or how to do it anymore. We saw the New Day break up at our show we went to.
It was awesome.
Oh, that was the show.
And
you
I
were
gave
at?
an
I did
epic.
see
I
that
gave an
show.
epic. You suck.
Which we started. We've had that chant down for a really long time, and you know that
during
we've
a
always.
quiet moment.
Yep, and we've always hated the New Day.
They don't. Tag team wrestling has been terrible for 20 years. Just god awful. They need to fucking figure it out because it was a nice difference. If you had an interesting tag team division, you had an interesting women's division, and an interesting men's division, you've got
That's
a hell
it.
of a show. But instead, I don't know what they're doing with the tag. It's a disgrace. Yeah.
Your
I don't know.
thoughts? I'm okay with the tag team division. I get what you're
think
saying.
It's still pretty small.
It's
very
What
limited.
are there?
right now.
Are
It's
there
super
8
limited.
teams? Are there 8 teams? I doubt it.
There's more than 8 teams, but
I don't think so.
But if you don't know
Maybe
more
if
than
you
8
know,
teams,
they
then
Tell me some teams. Let's rattle them off.
let's do War Raiders.
Well, see, let's stop right there.
Okay.
War Raiders. They repackaged those guys 3 times.
more than that, like 4.
4?
Yeah.
The fact that you said War Raiders, and you have to think to get to a second team, you could rattle off some 80s WWF tag teams.
Oh, I couldn't name off a
The Hart
bunch.
Foundation.
British
the
Bulldogs, Demolition.
Yeah.
We could go on. But give us a couple,
The
Brian.
Islanders. there's
Bushwhackers, and we hated the Bushwhackers, but I could still name
Nasty
them.
Boys.
Did you say the Hart Foundation? The
Money Inc.
Money Inc.
Who is Rick Martel and what's his face?
Strike Force.
Strike Force. Girls in Cars. The Girls in Cars. Strike
The
Force.
US Express. We got tag teams all over. And now you're like, well, there's the War Raiders.
And of course,
DIY.
And you watch wrestling.
and of course the
He's
ones
right.
you hated, like the Rockers and things like
well,
that.
and then in the W's.
Did you say the Rockers?
I said
In the
Rockers.
NWA, you had
that?
the
The
Russians, you had the Midnight Express, you had the Rock and Roll Express, you had the Road Warriors,
Then you had the-
the Horsemen.
And that was a totally different
The Killer
division
Bees.
too. The Killer Bees.
Yeah, Rick Rude and
Manny Fernando
Fernandez or whatever.
Fernandez.
Yeah, you had.
you just had a lot bigger roster
Yeah.
of people. though.
Yeah.
It was great.
And that's something we don't see right now with current wrestling is they don't have the roster size. It's probably because they're all having to pay them more money now, as opposed to the guys saying, well, if we made it to the show and we actually got to be on TV and we were the top, like the champ or whatever, we might make $3,000 for that night.
Might.
But now it's like, well, now the minimum payment is $100,000
Even
a year.
shitty teams, though,
Isn't that
30
crazy?
years ago were more interesting. You had
They had to
Honky
be.
Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Right.
Rhythm and
You had-
Blues.
You had Bobby Eaton with Lord Steven Regal.
Yep.
The Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods.
And
Yeah.
and you had the not the New Day, the New Breed, right? These were teams that never did anything, and they still were 100 times more interesting than anything they got now.
The New Breed.
Fucking new breed.
Yeah,
watched
but
some-
you're also talking about an era where those guys had to really compete if they wanted to make any kind of money.
And they didn't make shit.
And the competition was how much could they one up the other guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the superpowers of Dusty and Nikita. I mean, it was just awesome.
It was crazy. Have you guys seen the movie Iron Claw?
No.
I didn't watch it. That actor they got to play Von Erich is just like, that's one ugly looking.
They're all incorrect. Just
When
so
I
you
heard
know.
they had a shitty flare, I was like, I'm not watching
The
it.
flare is awful. The Harley race is awful. It's
You know how I knew it was probably going to be awful, and I haven't seen it. But when my daughter was like, I want to see Iron Claw, and I was like,
like
and this movie's not
Zac
aimed at
Efron
wrestling
or whatever his
fans.
fuck his
Because
name
my
is.
daughter's not a wrestling fan.
what was that, Brian?
His name is Zac Efron or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Zac Efron. Yeah, but
Yeah, whatever
he
the fuck his
portrayed
name.
that as the brother, but he didn't look like him. It felt like he should have been one of the other brothers. David Flair. It was just different. Like, you know, when I went to go see Lord of the Rings, I remember when I went in and these two guys that were sitting in front of me were like making fun of fans that were going to come in. They're like, I bet we're going to hear Frodo's hair's not long enough on his feet. Those kind of nerds. I was that nerd watching Iron Claw. Whoever played, I can't remember the actor's name right off the top of my head. That was in Shameless, and now he's in The Bear, who played Kerry Von Erich. Dude, he's shorter than me. I'm 5'9". He's shorter than me. Kerry Von Erich is like 6'2", 270 pounds.
Oh,
This
he
guy's
looked like a Greek god. He was amazing.
yeah, but this guy's shorter. You can see through all the, like, in the movie he's shorter. It was like they just played the characters to play the characters. There was a conversation that the dad had with Zac Efron's character. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now, but he talks about it. He's like, you know, if you go out there and you work your ass off, you'll get a title shot. My point being is, back in the day, they actually had to work and show that they were worthy enough to even get a title shot.
Yeah.
Here now they're just like, oh, the crowd likes you. You've sold enough shirts. You've put the time in.
Whose turn is it?
Whose turn is it? Who deserves it? We can talk about using the term deserves, because I can't stand that when it comes to wrestling. But they actually had to work, where these guys, like you said, they're just kind of going through these motions. And if they show that they're a good worker, that, you know, it's like my job. You can bust your ass, but nobody ever sees it. And the people that don't work hard get all the recognition. So it's that. Just throwing that out there.
You want to leave that out there for the video?
He didn't say who he works for. He's a self-employed male prostitute. Your OnlyFans is
We
taken
say
off.
gigolo, pal. Pay me some respect, okay? My clients out there, they just anyway.
You can buy a pair of Dom's dirty undies, $20. Shipped anywhere in the world.
for $5.
Yeah.
They're not dirty either. Just
You get
they're just
a
little
$20 bill
little
inside the
used.
dirty underwear, $25.
so they get undies for $5. I get to pay for the shipping on it too. I just get screwed on this end.
How does he make any money? Volume.
Buy 2 pairs. See what happens. All right, what else we got?
Dom's Drawers, LLC.
Dom's used drawers, dud. What else we got, Brian?
Oh shit! What are we talking about? We just ended up talking
You
about.
want a freestanding jizzed-in sock? Dom, $7.
We just ended up talking about tag team wrestling, how
Don't
it
listen to
sucks
him.
today compared to the yesteryear, and you guys just got done talking about how shitty the movie Iron Claw was.
I haven't seen it.
I didn't say it was shitty.
I think it's shitty.
I don't think
Other
it's very
people
good,
have-
but I
Other
don't think
people
it's
have
shitty.
said that the wrestler was better,
Oh yeah, the wrestler was way better, especially
and
when he
I've never
stuffs his hand.
I
in
haven't
that
even
move.
seen that movie.
It's pretty
Oh.
good.
Yeah, remember the
You saw that movie?
Yeah, it's
I've
got
never
Mickey
seen it.
Rourke in it.
Right.
Mickey-
Ram Jam. He jumps off the top rope and he does this thing called Ram Jam. And the movie ends kind of sad too.
I think it's supposed to. I think it's one of those movies that's supposed to be kind of like a tearjerker kind of thing.
At the very end, it is.
But even movies, I mean, we're talking about how wrestling fans now, they don't know any better. I mean, same with movie fans. They're not
Yeah, what
going to
the
watch The
fuck is up
Godfather or
with
something
you
good. They're like,
wrestling
I could watch Random Superhero number 6,
Which I'm over.
They don't have any idea what a good movie would look like, so they think the ones they have are good.
Yeah, and when you sit them down to watch The
Probably.
Godfather, they're like, it's a 3-hour movie? Oh,
I'm bored.
what? It's a really good movie that they don't care.
Yeah, it's just a different thing.
The
Different
Wrestler
era.
was good, though. I think you should watch
Yeah,
The
The
Wrestler.
Wrestler was good.
That is probably what your average professional wrestler goes through, because it does talk about what happens after they're popular and then toward the end of their career. So, Brian, you need to watch that. Are you paying attention?
No,
No?
I'm busy staring at my phone.
I tried. Hey, let's talk about some influential wrestlers.
Oh, yeah, now
This is
we're
like, let's
get rid of this new shit. That's Dom's thing. I'm lost in the past. I think Brian's in between.
I'm somewhere in between.
Thank
so
you,
you
Brian.
guys, you want to talk about who's influential, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Cream will rise.
That's right.
Cream will rise to the top.
Oh, yeah.
We need more of those sound bites, by the way. All right.
They're
let's
hard
talk-
to find.
Are they?
Yeah, because too many of
You
them.
got a
have music
Vader one?
behind
You got
them.
a It's Time? Or,
I don't have Vader
You
yet.
got to get a Vader.
Is
I
this
need-
him?
Can I hear the master?
Who is this punk? Is this him?
I am the master, and I am the ruler.
What?
Of the world.
Oh, of the world. Let's just talk about some wrestlers that either got you into wrestling or kept you involved in wrestling or keeps you involved in wrestling. Let's have you start. We'll have Brian go next, and then I'll go.
Well, I was telling you guys off air during our pre-production meeting. By the way, the corporate sandwiches were terrible today.
Hey,
Brian.
bottom.
Yeah.
They're good. You get a slice of meat, you get a slice of cheese with a little bit of mayo. There's
I don't even think that was Wonder Bread. It was like Winder Bread. No, we didn't eat.
and that wasn't mayo. It was
We're big
mayo.
shots. Thanks for doubling my pay, Brian. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
okay.
But I was we were talking a little bit while we were figuring out how to sit next to a mic without choking on it or whatever. And
Take some
I was
lessons
saying
from your wife.
thank you. It's like this. You're staring right down the barrel, baby. But the first time I ever saw any fake wrestling, my parents got divorced. I went to my dad's. He had cable, which was unheard of
Right.
to me.
That's
And
really when I started.
He's just
It
dating
was
himself now.
wrestling,
it
too.
was Tommy Wildfire Rich and Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, and talk about getting introduced right in the middle of an all-time feud. And the first week I was like, yeah, Tommy Wildfire Rich, and then the second week I was like, I actually like the bad guy. It's been heels ever since, but I'm gonna say Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. It was the first heel that I got into. I loved all that 80s TBS 605. The Road Warriors, the Russians, the Midnight Express, Flair and the Horsemen. Unbelievable.
Cool.
And I can still watch that anytime. It makes me smile. Come out, squash somebody, do a 2-minute promo. Next guy comes out, squashes whoever he's supposed to squash. Boogie Woogie Man comes out, high fives everybody, gives him a thumb in the neck, pins him, dances his way out. I mean, you get like 12 matches in an hour and you're out. And it was awesome. And then the WWF, we had Savage and the WrestleMania era. What a time to grow up. And then the 90s, the Monday Night Wars. I don't need nothing else.
That's it?
I got the 80s and the 90s. I'm good.
All right. You're not going to. Well, okay. I'll let Brian go.
I don't even know. I grew up, and it was Saturday Night Main Event, as we talked about at the opening of the show. All that was on was Saturday Night Main Event.
And they had some great matches, right? Hulk and Andre with the ref and the plastic surgery.
And I saw, I was watching it. I don't even remember when I first saw it. It's just always seemed like, as far as I can remember, I've always known what it was. And it would always come on like the last Saturday of the month on NBC Channel 5. And it was just one time a month. It wasn't something you'd see every week or 3 times a week. There weren't other shows. This was the only thing that was on.
And it meant something.
And it meant something.
They showed it like it meant something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so every time it came on, he was like, well, that's what we're watching, 8 o'clock, at night. It's Saturday night, and there it is. It's okay. Sit there for, what was it, an hour long or something, and watch the
90
show.
minutes.
And it was just, that's what it was. It was just almost like it was a ritual. It was something to watch. Here we go. And then when we got cable up in Alger, that would have been 89, 88, somewhere in that era, something like that. All of a sudden now we had access to TNT, TBS, things like that. Well, TNT was showing NWA and WCW, and sometimes you'd catch AWA on
ESPN.
on ESPN in an early Saturday morning or late in the evening or something like that.
watching 60-year-olds wrestle in front of a bunch of empty chairs.
With one old lady.
What the hell were they thinking the way they filmed that show?
Yeah.
So yeah, we got cable, and I think the first thing I saw was Clash of the Champions came on TNT, and it was like, you know, Mark Callis was one of the guys on there, and he got his ass handed to him by Flying Brian Pillman.
I watched that with you.
What's that? Yeah,
I watched
you did.
it with you.
And we watched Sid, and I think Luger beat Sid with a flying forearm or something.
Yes.
Supposed to have a steel plate.
Yeah, he's got a
whatever.
steel plate in there.
You know? So yeah, that's when that started, and of course then there was Superstars that started coming on, and that was every Saturday or something like that. So it'd be throughout the week, just watching wrestling and going to school, come back home, watch wrestling, go to school, do all that kind of crap, right? And it just became the norm, right? Because there was nothing else on TV I cared to see. There's not a lot going on. There were a few shows on at the time that I liked. I mean, The Simpsons been on forever, and I kind of grew up with them because they started on the Tracy Ullman show back in 1988, something like
87.
that. But then Married with Children came out in the early 90s or something like that.
Yeah.
That was another one that we ended up watching religiously. And
I still do.
And so there was just a few programs like that. And, you know, as the years went by, as far as television goes, there's fewer and fewer programs that were actually TV productions made to tell like a story, like a, you know, regular sitcom or whatnot, or a drama. It's turning more and more and more into this scripted reality TV bullshit.
Ugh.
And so, you know, about the only few things that I do end up watching is when SmackDown comes on or Raw comes on. You know, I'll have them recorded. Well, not Raw anymore. It's because it's on Netflix. But I'd record them and then I'd play them, you know, watch them when I had the time because there's nothing else on to watch. And even if I didn't really care what's going on, I just have it playing for noise in the background.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then, you know, as time went on, you know, I liked the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era was fun because it became more edgy, risque, things like that. And it was just like, everything was funny. You laugh at it, right? And then the Monday Night Wars kind of put in there. So, yeah, that coincides with the Attitude Era and how far WWE or WWF at the time was willing to push the envelope on national television, you know, as far as what they could do without being censored or whatever, things like that. But then came the PG, well, it wasn't in the PG area at the time. It was, you know, John Cena showed
Cena
up.
era.
Boring area.
You know, and it was just John Cena all the time with Triple H and maybe 4 or 5 other people, and that's all you'd ever see, and it was the same shit day in, day out, and yeah, we got bored of it. Go find something
That was
else.
that was rough.
I think that's when like Angle and Lesnar both left, and you're just kind of left with these less colorful, less interesting, less
Edge.
talented guys.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
As far, you know, there's another thing about, since you brought up Angle, they're doing the same thing with Gable that they did with Angle. Okay, so the guy's supposed to be, he's actually a legit Olympic wrestler. I can't remember if he won a medal or just got up to a placement. But it's like, okay, they're doing all the same crap with the, you know, like the crowd's going,
But
you suck.
he's 5'5" and 1'9", or you know what
Whatever
I mean?
he is,
Yeah.
but they're just doing the same thing. The crowd does the "you suck," so they made his music to try to fit
Almost.
similar to Angle's music,
Yep.
so the crowd can go do you suck, you
Yep.
know, whatever. And it's like, come on, people, do something more original.
And his group is actually pretty fucking cool.
Well, the group, I mean, the hell with the group. I mean, Gable himself as a wrestler, he can actually go.
Those 2 other guys are wrestlers too.
I know.
The
but
Creed
they're-
brothers are
but
real
they're- but
wrestlers.
They're boring. Gable himself, he can actually go.
And it sucks is they're not boring. They're actually really good.
I think they're boring.
It's because they don't
that
get to
stupid
do half the
brutish
shit.
bullshit and whatnot. It's like, come on.
They should have
Yeah, I
Angle
like 'em.
come out and be their manager.
They
Because
should have.
Angle had charisma.
Yeah, I know.
But see, that was the
One of the
thing.
greats.
And Gable, you know, he kind of gets that whole thing like with Angle did back in the day. You know, he's able to make fun of himself and put on the stupid little cowboy hat with a little ukulele and stand there with a dumb look on his face or whatever. But then he can go out in there and really go, you know,
Yeah.
and really perform.
And it's believable. It was believable no matter who he was wrestling that he could win the match.
Yeah.
Even if it's Lesnar, whatever monster, because he was that damn good.
Yep.
Yeah, but why are they just rehashing that same kind of image with Gable. Like, what the fuck is his first name again?
Chad
Gable. I keep just saying Gable because I'm thinking Clark
That's all
Gable.
they say.
But yeah, Chad Gable. And so, I can get behind that guy as far as wrestling goes. But the other two guys you mentioned, I don't really care. And the girl that's with him, what is her name? Ivy Niles? Have you ever seen that girl, Rob? Yeah. Every time I see her on TV, I'm sorry to say I'm not trying to rip on her, but every time I see her,
she looks like Jane Child.
The first thought that comes in my head is, would you care for some Tranya?
It's a Star Trek.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Rob got it.
Yeah. Ron Howard's brother. Yeah.
Anyway, is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, thank you. What is it called? Tranya?
Yeah. You got to watch Star Trek.
The Corbomite maneuver.
Yeah.
No, I know, but would you like?
The drink is called Tranya.
Okay.
Ron Howard's brother.
I hope you relish
Oh, I know who that is. I actually know that character.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, now, I know it hit me kind of late, but now that's funny.
So yeah, every time I see Ivy Niles, that's the image I get in my head.
That's funny. Now I want to see her.
That's the one with like the weird little big-eared character with the weird forehead. Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, that's awesome. All right, for me, like I've talked about in their very, very, very first Outside Interference episode, when I was 3 years old, I remember I was at my grandparents' house, and my grandfather was just like, my Wello, he was like, watch TV. We were running around the house, and he was like, wrestling was on, and he sat us in front of the TV, and it just happened to be on, and I remember just being like, what is this? I remember it was not WWF, and it wasn't WCW. It wasn't around. It was either AWA or NWA, and it was a battle royal, but they call it a Texas Tornado match. I'll never forget.
Because I remember
Texas
Tornado matches.
Yeah, my Wello being like, they said Texas. Yeah, Texas. And that always stuck in my head. And so I always wanted to watch wrestling after that. I remember being a kid, Saturday night's main event. We didn't have cable. We didn't have TV. We were poor. And so I only got to hear stories when I went to school the next day or that next weekend. Always picturing, like, I remember when Hulk Hogan got beat up on Saturday Night's Main Event by King Kong Bundy before WrestleMania 2. Five! And they broke his ribs, him and I think it was Don Morocco. I remember when I heard that story at school, I was tripping. I was like, oh my God, Hulk Hogan's in the hospital. What's going to happen? This is crazy. Got to write him a letter. Got to send him a birthday card. I sent him a letter. If I remember right, I did send him a letter.
Hey, when you met Hogan and the meet and greet, did you tell him that?
Let me tell you a story, Jack. This gets kind of funny and good.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
So I go to a book signing, right? And it's Hulk Hogan's book signing, and it's at a bookstore down south, and I'm waiting in line, and I think I'm at the very back of the line, and it's not. I'm kind of toward the beginning.
Okay.
And I'm practicing. What am I going to say to him? This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this. Okay, I'm going to say this. And I'm going to say this. And I'm like 2 people away, and I'm like, fuck, there he is. And I'm starting to get more nervous. Okay, you're going to say this. You're going to say this. Say this. Okay. And I get up to him. I'm like, oh, yeah, he signs somebody grabs my book and hands it to him, and he signs it. And I go to shake his hand, and I'm like, I was a big Hulkamaniac. I'm whatever age now, and I've been watching you since I've been like 3 or 4, all my life. And the 2 people that I were with, they didn't buy a book, so they couldn't wait in line. They were standing behind a bookshelf, which overlooked Hulk Hogan's shoulder. And I was sitting there talking, and all of a sudden one of them goes, yeah, he used to send you birthday cards as a kid. And I look shocked. I'm like, oh man, what do I do? And he just leans back. Is that true, brother? And I was like, yeah, I was just a little Hulkster. And he started laughing, and he kind of laughed, and he stuck his hand back out and shook my hand again. And I turned his arm, and I was like, I like your tattoo. And because he had just gotten that tattoo on his forearm. And he's like, thanks, man. Why don't you go talk to Jimmy for a little bit? In other words, get the fuck out of here. I've got a line of people behind you.
Right.
But the cool thing was, when I was talking to him, he actually sat back and kind of listened to what I was saying.
I think I seen that photo. He's like,
yep. He's just kind of leaning back, looking. And so I know that Hogan gets a bad rap, but I've been watching him since I was a kid. So he was one of my heroes growing up, and you know that. We've known each other for over 40 years. So
Dominic was a big Hulkamaniac, and then his other little buddy that he had, Bruce, he was an Ultimate Warrior fan.
Ugh.
It was rough. You're telling me.
I'm in 8th grade
arguing with
him. But I've been to Hogan's shop in St. Petersburg.
You got me something from there.
And,
Hogan wasn't there, though,
He
at the
wasn't
time.
there.
Damn, that son of a bitch.
I would love to meet Hulk Hogan, but I would
Just so
tell
you
him,
can walk up to him.
No, I would.
hate you.
I would tell him, you did have lust in your eyes for Elizabeth, and yeah, I was
He's been holding that in for how many years
Yep.
is it? 35, 40
I was always a
years.
Savage guy,
Yep.
and I was lucky. My introduction to WWF coincided with Savage had just started. He wasn't even Intercontinental Champ yet, but what a showstopper Savage was for me. The way he talked, the way he got his back to the camera, doing his thing, and killing it in the ring. Savage was my first real favorite wrestler.
So this is most influential
Still is,
wrestler is
yeah.
probably going to be Macho
Savage.
There was a thing I saw with Honky doing an interview, and it was about Savage, and it was about how Honky refused to do the job for Savage.
Yeah.
Man. Really?
Yeah.
He was going to re-win the Intercontinental title at the main event, but so instead they pivoted and had Savage win the title at WrestleMania 4. So it worked out for Savage.
Huh.
Right. They had Honky, and I think Jimmy Hart was his manager at the time. Vince invited him up to the house, and they drove up there, right? And Honky was kind of complaining about that because they found out Savage was there too, and Savage got flown to the house, right? They had to drive. And Honky's saying, I didn't do jobs for anybody. If it didn't make sense to do it, I wouldn't do it. Because why? Because essentially, you're on TV. That's where the money's made.
So why did they let him why did he agree to get squashed and just obliterated by Warrior at SummerSlam?
God, that was so much later, though.
Wasn't that much later.
Are you sure? It's like several years later.
I don't think it was.
This would have been right when they were going to be putting Savage over as one of their head
so
guys.
early '88, and I think when did Warrior beat
88.
Honky?
It was 88, summer 88.
That was maybe
6
that was
months
a
later.
punishment kind of the thing. Then.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway,
But-
continue.
Anyway, Honky was saying, it's because it's money, right? And that's what I brought up earlier. Those guys are saying the only time you really made money, you were the guy that was on the top. You were the guy who had the belt, and if you were on TV. And if they were going to turn around and do anything with you, like make you drop it or whatever, then all of a sudden your pay and everything is also dropping way down. And he's saying, you got to pay for your own car. You got to pay for your own gas. You got to pay for this and everything. So nobody wanted to do that. They're all fighting with each other in some way to be the guy on top. And once they get there, they don't want to lose that spot. And I think a lot of modern wrestling fans don't understand that. And that's why Hogan and those guys were the way they were. And they're going, well, Hogan's not being fair. He should do this and let the other guy win. That doesn't work for me, brother. Because Hogan was the same way. They come up from an era where they all had to compete with each other just to try to get that spot where they're going to make a couple $1,000s for the night. They're not making hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars for the shows.
No
now.
guaranteed contracts. No nothing.
No. So Honky says he gets there, and Vince never looked at him once. He was just looking at Savage. They're all sitting on the same couch, and Vince is looking at Savage and just telling him, this is what we're going to do from you. We're going to build you up, and we're going to turn you into the big star. And then after all the conversation, Vince turned and talked directly to Jimmy Hart. Still didn't talk to Honky Tonk. And Honky Tonk felt disrespected about that. So he just got up after it was all said and done and just walked out. And then he eventually made a phone call and said he's not doing that. And you basically go fuck off.
I don't understand that. I don't understand when wrestlers say they're not going to do a job. They're not hired to say no. It's a fucking job. Could you imagine if I went to my work and was like, today I'm just not going to go do this?
You're also not guaranteed anything in his job. You, in your job, you're guaranteed
I'm not
something.
guaranteed shit.
You're guaranteed a wage.
I'm guaranteed my salary, but
That's
not
what
my
you're
bonuses.
guaranteed. Those guys,
so I have to work
those
my
guys
ass off
in
for my
wrestling
bonus.
aren't guaranteed a salary.
Yeah, they weren't guaranteed.
Well, let's just talk
They're
about. Let's
guaranteed.
just talk about the bonus
They
part
might
itself.
make there's no bonus about it either.
Well, I'm
That's
just using
their
my bonus
payday.
as an example. If that's all I had to live on versus what they make, I don't get hired to go tell my boss
Because
no.
when they are turned down to where they're no longer the top guy in the spot, they don't get any of that. They're back down to $50.
But they're not the boss.
Well, that's why they can just pack up and leave, and that's what he did.
I know.
And then
But I think it's shitty.
Because he turned around and he immediately called WCW. They already knew what was going on, and they said, "Yeah, dude, come on down." Well, then he went back and Vince found out. Well, Vince said, "No, come on, we'll work something else out here."
So
So that's why he didn't disappear for so long. That's why you saw him, he was still wrestling there, and he had the matches with Warrior and whatever else. He stayed there for a while.
Yeah, he had. But after with the Warrior, he went against help me, Dusty Rhodes, Big Boss Man.
I can hear the train.
The train. He went against the train. We're fighting the train right now.
Train.
Hey, it's natural aesthetic. This is real. We're live here, pal. But
anyway, yeah, it's a business where you have to watch out for yourself because your employer isn't giving a shit about you. They're just using you to make money. The bookies, the bookers, whatever, they're just there to put on the show. And half the time, especially with those smaller promotions, regional promotions, you'll be lucky if you get any damn thing at all. So you have to watch out for yourself in every aspect of the way.
I get it.
If they turn around and Vince told him, Honky Tonk Man, they're gonna put him away for a while and repackage him, and he said, I know what the fuck that means.
Yeah,
I get it.
So yeah, he's essentially, it'd be like your boss telling you, look, Dom, you've been doing great and everything, but we think we're going to go a different direction, so we're going to pull you out of your role. You're no longer going to make the money you're making right now. We're going to just set you off to the side for several months, and when you come back, we're going to stick you in this role. We'll just see what happens.
I'd be pissed, but there's nothing else I could do.
Well, you could turn around and go find something else.
Exactly.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
Said, fuck you, I'm going to do something else.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, I just have a problem with that guys or gals that refuse to do a job that they are fucking hired for. Anyway, side note.
Ultimate Warrior, Shawn Michaels, assholes like
Triple H, or not Triple H, I'm sorry,
because
Stone Cold, CM Punk. Those were all those people took their ball and went home, per se. You know what I mean?
They refused to do the job, though, because it was going to affect their livelihood. And they weren't getting a fair deal out of it as far as they're concerned, so they're going to do something else.
Okay.
Which is what it was. But since there was all the little internal communications between everybody going, hey, somebody's going to jump ship and come over here. And it's like, oh, no, wait a minute. We can't have that. Come back here. We'll do something else for you.
Here's some more money, or here's some money. Let's stay here.
Here's something that will entice you to stay here, whatever. It's
what
not
about
like
Undertaker? Weren't you a big Undertaker?
Yeah. Let's go back to the influence part. I thank you. Speaking of the Undertaker, I remember when I found out about the Undertaker. It was I knew about Mean Mark Callis from Brian's house when he went against Lex Luger.
And Brian Pillman.
No, he was Lex Luger.
He got beat by Brian Pillman.
He got beat by both of them.
He got beat by everybody.
Yeah, he did. In WCW, he did.
Yeah, he was a jobber in WCW.
But you liked him. You liked him over in WCW.
He was all right.
He was
part of the Skyscrapers for a little bit.
Yeah. So
with Dangerous Dan and Spivey.
They were a good tag team. Did you see that match where they beat the fuck out of those?
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that video a number of times.
Yeah, he wouldn't job to him.
The guy wasn't selling for him.
Yeah, and they just beat the shit out of him. Even after the match was done, he still tries to get
Teddy Long is. You can hear Teddy Long over the camera mic go, beat that fucker.
First time I saw Undertaker once again, it was at Clash of the Champions. Then after that, we just didn't see him anymore. But I remember going to school on a Monday, and Survivor Series was on a Sunday or Thanksgiving. It was before Thanksgiving, and we came back from Thanksgiving break. I got to see Brian and another friend at the time, and we were like, I had to go talk to them because I didn't have cable TV, so I had to go talk to these guys and be like, so what happened on wrestling? What happened on Superstars? What happened on USA? What was it? Primetime Wrestling. And Brian tried to break down. I was like, who is the mystery opponent for Miss $1 Million Man's team? Oh man, he was this big guy. He was like an old-fashioned Western style grave digger. I think his name was the Undertaker. They kept on calling him Kane the Undertaker. And I'm just like,
I don't remember it going down like that, but whatever.
I did.
Keep going.
Oh yeah. And I was just like, okay, well, when I get home tonight, I get to watch Primetime Wrestling because Raw wasn't around then. And when I first saw when they were showing highlights and they showed the highlight of The Undertaker, I was just like, who the fuck is this guy? And when I got to see the video of him, when he came out on his own with Brother Love during, I think it was a Superstars, or what was the other one? Or Superstars. And then there was another one that was.
Right now, it's been too long. I can't remember.
It's been a long time. But when he came out, I was just like, holy shit, this guy's actually legit scary. Yeah. Like he looked like the way his expression was, it looked like he was fucking serious. So it was just, kind of in awe by him.
Mark was just happy he wasn't the gobbledygooker.
That's right. The
but he had a great
Eggman.
presentation.
That's what it was. Eggman.
He had a great presentation.
He
He had
did.
the gloves. The commentators talk about the creepy smell of formaldehyde.
Yeah.
And, he was real slow and deliberate. I mean, they really nailed it. With him.
He sold it though.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for Mark, it probably wouldn't be the same
No,
character.
because it's a stupid character.
It is. But you know what helped put him over, and what really got me?
Jake the Snake.
No, Paul Bearer.
Oh.
Paul Bearer.
I thought you were going to say, well, for me, it was seeing WrestleMania 8, and he's getting up from DDTs
Like
and
what was
stuff.
it, 3 or 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Hulk Hogan, though, was one of my biggies. I would say Vader's very influential. Vader. Along with Sid. The big guys like that have always just been...
I love watching
in
Vader
awe.
destroy jobbers, accidentally breaking their necks and stuff. I mean, he's out of control.
My favorite one was when he went against a jobber and he puts him on the stretcher and he's sending him to the back.
I remember
And it was
that.
like the camera was supposed to turn off, but they were like, "Yeah, let's just keep it rolling." And he goes to roll him in the back, and he hits a wall, and the guy goes bouncing off. The fucking stretcher goes another way.
Yeah, the guy falls on the ground.
It was awesome.
Yep.
I would have to say,
I am the master, and I am the ruler.
That's right.
the world. I would say a current influential wrestler would be probably Brock Lesnar.
God, can you even say he's current anymore?
I'm just saying
he's
current
never
up to.
coming back. He is never coming
He'll
back.
come back.
That's not what Triple H says.
He'll come back.
Triple H says he's just taking his time.
He
off.
didn't really
He's
actually do
relaxing.
anything.
No, he may have not
No.
done anything, but Vince was his buddy. That was, and so with the allegations, they're trying to.
He's
pin
too
on
big
him
of a
too.
star. He's too big of a
They're
star.
just trying to find
I don't
scapegoats.
think he
Everybody's friends with
needs to.
Vince.
You see, it's like no, he doesn't need the money anymore. So why would he come back?
They'll throw a bunch of money at him.
They'll throw
Well,
more
Even
money
if
at
you
him.
don't need money, if they say, here's $1 million for one night's work, you're going to do it.
Yeah,
I think he was up to $2 million.
For a night?
for a night.
Well, I don't know, but like that UFC fight, that last UFC fight that he had with what was it, Mark Hunter or whatever?
Yeah.
They paid him over $2 million or something for that.
I could see that.
That's
Well,
why
he was
turn around-
headlining that show.
That's why
Yeah.
he turned around and told Vince, "Hey, I'm going to do this. I'll work for 5 minutes and get $2 million, whatever the fuck it was, right?"
Yeah, and he
But-
doesn't have to get the crap kicked out of him over in WWE, where he was really fighting over in UFC. I'm sorry. He did try to go back though.
What, UFC?
Yeah, for a split second he tried to go back, and I guess the money wasn't good, so he was like, "Nah, I'll just."
Well,
stay
that's the
with him."
thing. It's like he's just there doing whatever needs to do to get the biggest payday, and I don't fault a guy for that. I don't think you have to have this undying, unwavering love for the professional wrestling business or anything like that. You're there to make a paycheck. That's what Sid Vicious was there for too. He
Yeah.
was there for a paycheck. He wasn't a wrestling fan.
Bullshit. After he was gone, even in one of his last podcasts, he was like, "I wish I could have done it different. I miss the WWE.
Maybe he said,
I miss
maybe
being
he
on the
said that, but he
spotlight
went
in the
there-
ring."
He went there as a job. It's like I can make a shit ton of money doing this, and I'm not really going to get hurt.
What do you
kind
tell
of thing.
Sid Vicious on his way to the ring?
Ouch.
Break a leg.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's not your own, please.
Outside interference!
All right, let's get some last thoughts in and wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Wow. Okay, that's his last thought.
I haven't
Brian.
eaten anything.
Yeah, there's another
We
last
got to
thought.
have last. Welcome to Last Thoughts with Dom and Rob. And
Welcome
F.
to last thoughts.
Welcome to
Interference.
F Off with Brian.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Any last thoughts? We're back after 10 years.
It's been
We're still
10
here.
years. Somehow, the time has no effect on me. Right? I still look like I'm What?
13.
I'm coming up on my double birthday, Jack.
Don't tell them which double birthday, but
Yeah,
it's coming up.
It's not good, but life's good. Wrestling is recorded, thank God, so I can watch the shit I like, and I don't have to watch the shit I don't like. But we still occasionally will go to a
Monday Night Raw. or
Monday Night Raw.
SmackDown.
We went to, it's only been 20 years since we went to WrestleMania. I'm not going to that shithole in Vegas, their stadium. It's you could tell it's the Raiders. It's like the asshole of the Kingdom is this new stadium they have. It sucks. I'm not going to that. I'll go to Vegas anytime, but I'm not going to WrestleMania there. Fuck that shit.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here,
heard it here first.
on Outside in a blah.
Thank you. Brian, last thoughts.
Oh, geez. My last thoughts? Huh. Meow, 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 meow.
Meow. Right, meow?
Yeah.
No, I'm still watching the product. I don't watch all the other shit anymore. I don't watch any of the old reruns from WCW or whatnot.
You should. You could watch Ivan Koloff kick the crap out of somebody.
It's just too much crap.
You want to watch the Mokies?
Monkey Mania is running wild, Daddy.
I don't care about AEW simply because it's all a bunch of little $1.50
Monkey
soaking
Mania.
wet people that I don't give a shit about.
The blonde hair.
But
this.
I still catch modern stuff from time to time just because it's almost like it's just I don't want to use the word tradition, but it's just this is what I do, right? It's like, okay, it's Monday, it's what time? It's like 9 o'clock.
Habit.
Right. Just turn it on. Well, I feel like doing this. Oh, something going. Oh, something's interesting's happening right now. Let's check it out or whatever, Same thing with Friday Night SmackDown. It's just turn it on and see if it's something interesting. Most of the time, it's like the pay-per-views or whatnot. If I have the time to take off from work for it, it's just to get together with everybody else.
Yeah, we do that a couple times a year, right?
I love it.
And I was thinking, it's far enough out. If you guys wanted to, I can request Saturday off for Rumble.
The first.
And hold that here.
February 1st. We need that day.
I work. I work Saturdays.
You work Saturdays?
This is the Rumble.
So you're off.
This is the road to WrestleMania. Tell him, Brian.
You're out of the pay-per-view
shuffle?
Yeah. Unless we watch it at my house because I can leave if I get a call.
Oh. We'll think about it. I would hate to do that to you.
What days do you get off?
I get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
So you're kind of in the middle of the week?
And then my boss calls me every week and says, "Do you want to work this? Do you want to work that on your days off?" Like
why wouldn't I make $600 a day?
Well, it's probably something you guys wouldn't want to do, but we could always just set it up to watch it as a replay.
Yeah, we could do that. Watch it on a...
I like watching my shit live. Is that your final thought?
We're live, pal.
My final thought? I don't know. My final thought is I have to pass this cheeseburger I just ate.
Hey, anyway, so since Brian's done talking,
you're going to take a McMahon out in the...
You're going to take a McMahon out in the... Well, I was going to say something.
Yeah.
I better wait. Certain people might
Don't
watch
you
this.
miss old wrestling, though? They would tell a story in like 10 minutes. Like the Andersons are working the arm. The Horsemen are keeping the Rock and Roll Express from making the tag. I mean, they had stories. Flair's, feuding with Sting or whatever. I mean, it was gold. And
the
now
Road Warriors attacking Dusty at a gas station. Or no, that was the Four Horsemen.
That was the Horsemen.
Yeah, and the Road Warriors did inside the ring and
the Road Warriors did a spike in his eye.
Oh, yeah,
the Road Warriors. Yeah,
it was brutal.
Yeah, those were the glory days. All right, last thoughts.
Oh, last thoughts. I'm definitely glad to be back. I'm most deaf glad to be back with you two, back at F Studios. It's been a long time, but let's keep on doing these. This feels like it was a good show. I'd like to keep these up, but hopefully you guys are watching these out there. You really appreciate it that we're putting these together. If not, we're having a lot of fun. Other than that, welcome back to Outside Interference. I'm the Dom Prime. This is the Madness Lord Rob, and that's F. Brian himself. Outside Interference. Till next time.